Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am joined by guest Trevor Bryan today to debate about whether or not Haason Reddick is the most underrated defensive player in all of football. When you hear elite pass rushers, you hear Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, those kind of guys. However, Haason Reddick has put up elite numbers this season, and more importantly, he has played a big role in the Eagles going to the Super Bowl this season. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Is Haason Reddick the most underrated defensive player in the NFL right now?
I think he's definitely very underrated. The thing about being underrated is that, obviously nobody knows about you and you go way under the radar. And obviously Haason Reddick goes under the radar. He's been playing football on the elite level for a long time and he hardly gets any coverage. I mean, he did it with Arizona, did it with Panthers, and now he's putting up insane numbers for the Eagles. And yet he's not getting the same love that these other guys are getting. So I definitely think he goes under the radar. There's definitely a lot of other guys in the league that make big plays and aren't as impactful as Haason Reddick, but yet don't get talked about at all. And I'm talking about guys like Frankie Louvu and guys like that play the game at a high level and don't get talked about at all. Like, they fly under the radar completely. While Haason Reddick does get some credit, he definitely is extremely underrated, and I definitely would agree that he probably is the most underrated defensive player in the league.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, 100%. Heck yeah, Haason Reddick, he's the most underrated defensive player in all of football. I don't even think that there's even a close number two when you talk about underrated defensive players in all of football. When you talk about Haason Reddick, you look at the one-on-one matchups that this guy can create, and you look at the matchup nightmares that he brings for opposing offensive linemen. This guy is an athletic freak, and he knows how to get to the quarterback. When you talk about elite pass rushers, like I said earlier, you think about Nick Bosa. Everybody hypes him up, rightfully so. Nick Bosa, great player. You always hear about Micah Parsons. You always hear about 11 from heaven. You always hear about the impact that he does make. I'm not saying Micah Parsons isn't a great player, but Haason Reddick is just as equally a great player as Micah Parsons. Heck, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to even say that he's a better player than Micah Parsons. Haason Reddick should be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations. You look at the fact that he's forced 5 fumbles this season. You look at the fact that he's sacked up quarterbacks 16 times this year, and you just look at all the impact that he's made for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's made teammates better. He's made his other defensive linemen better. He's made the secondary better. He's made the linebackers better. He's made passing defense better. He's been able to stop the run really well. And when you look at Haason Reddick, it's really a wonder why the Carolina Panthers didn't even bother trying to retain him earlier in this offseason. So when you look at it from that perspective, heck yeah, he's the most underrated defensive player in all of football. I don't even think there's even a close number 2 in all of this.
Yeah, he's definitely the most crucial part, in my opinion, to that Eagles defensive line. He went in there and really showed up, and that really sucks that we lost him. Panthers lost him because him and Brian Burns was a dangerous duo. And I wish we had made better efforts to try to keep him.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And like I said with Haason Reddick, you look at the matchup nightmares that he creates, the way that he just comes off the line so fast. You look at that hit on Brock Purdy in the NFC Championship game, really changed the whole complexion of the ball game. If Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, maybe it's a closer game. I don't think that would happen anyways, but that's neither here nor there for the argument. When you look at Haason Reddick, he explodes off the line unlike so many other people, and his athleticism really goes under the radar. And you look at the impact that Haason Reddick can make. So let me go ahead and ask you about this. What impact do you think that Haason Reddick can make in the Super Bowl?
I think he'll have a huge impact, and honestly, I have him potentially being favored for MVP. I think that he's going to make a big play, especially towards the end of the game. I think that the Eagles are going to be in control for most of the game. Obviously, you can't count out Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense, but I think it's going to come down to someone on that Eagles defense making a big play. They're going to need Haason Reddick to step up and do that like he's been doing all season. So I think that he can come in clutch to make a big play and even be in the conversation for Super Bowl MVP.
And when you look at Haason Reddick, you look at the fact that he is a game changer, and when you look at the Chiefs O-line, they're honestly not that strong. Is their O-line good? Sure, they're all right. They're not bad at all, but the Eagles' defensive line's elite. You can't double team everybody. If you double team Haason Reddick, that's going to leave Fletcher Cox one-on-one. If you double team Fletcher Cox, that's going to leave someone like Brandon Graham to win his one-on-one matchup. That's going to leave someone like Haason Reddick to win his one-on-one matchup. You can't double team everyone, and that's the thing with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. They know how to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and let's be honest about how Patrick Mahomes has been performing in these Super Bowls. He's been far from great. When you talk about Super Bowl performances with Patrick Mahomes, the 2 Super Bowls that he's played in, Patrick Mahomes has not played at Patrick Mahomes-like level. And I think that this Philadelphia Eagles defense, they're going to get a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I think Haason Reddick is going to be a big reason why there's going to be a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I think that Haason Reddick definitely has the right to potentially win the Super Bowl MVP. He could even be a game changer. I would not be surprised if he helps the Eagles score a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball. So let me go ahead and ask you this. All right, so who's going to win the Super Bowl and who's going to win Super Bowl MVP? Tell us what's going to happen.
So I have Eagles winning 30-24. I think they're going to have an explosion on offense again, and it comes down to the fact that defense wins championships. This is always a common theme, and the Eagles' defense is elite. Their defensive line is elite, and Patrick Mahomes, even though he's going to have this 2-week break, he's still going to be a little bit banged up, and I just don't think he's going to be able to do what he's done hurt against the Eagles' defense. So I think the Chiefs are going to be play catch-up all game. They have a lot of guys that are hurt, so I think the Eagles are going to be in control of this game, and I think they pull it out, win 30-24, and I think that Jalen Hurts is enough to win MVP.
And what about Haason Reddick? You think he's going to make a big play down the stretch? That's
Yeah,
going to give
down the stretch. I think they're going to be in control of the game. I think they're going to be leading at halftime and like being up about like 30-17 towards the end of the game. The Chiefs will score, and the Chiefs will need a miracle towards the end of the game, and Haason Reddick shuts it down, and the Eagles win. Something along the lines of that, but the defense is going to step up and make stops, and they need to for sure. But I got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Well, great analysis by you. I'm going to go ahead and reveal my Super Bowl pick come Friday. So I'm not going to share it right now because I got another Super Bowl video that I got to share with you guys with that too. Don't want to spoil that. That's going to be can't miss. But I'll say this is going to be a great game. This is going to be against a great defensive line versus the best quarterback in the NFL. Let's see what happens. So let's see the impact that Haason Reddick makes. Well, thanks for being on the show, Trevor. Appreciate you coming on here. All right. Make sure you follow.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. Make sure you follow his Instagram at trev.2. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. See ya,
I'll
bro.
See you guys.
Yup. Bye. That was Trevor Bryan that you guys just heard. All right, so he's going to submit his pick in as the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl by the score of 30-24. He thinks Jalen Hurts is going to do just enough to get the win. He's going to think that Haason Reddick is going to make a key play for the Eagles down the stretch. Either way, though, he thinks that it's going to be a pretty good game, as this will be a great defensive line going up against the best quarterback in the NFL right now. So let's see what happens with that. He's very high on Haason Reddick. He says that he's the most underrated defensive player in all of football. I am going to 100% agree with him on that take. I think that Haason Reddick needs to be talked about way more, and the fact that he doesn't get mentioned amongst the best defensive players and the best defensive pass rushers in all of football, it's almost borderline criminal to me. The impact that Haason Reddick just makes is just completely unreal to me. So that is why Haason Reddick is the most underrated defensive player in the NFL right now. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.